Are you ready to scale and outsource your business?
Okay, let's go.
Welcome to the Outsourcing and Scaling Show. I'm your host, Nathan Hirsch, a show where we talk about everything Amazon, Shopify, e-commerce, and digital marketing. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to Outsourcing and Scaling. I'm here with a special guest, Jeffery Banek. Jeff, how you doing today?
Great, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Excited to talk to you. Jeff is a two-time 2 Comma Club winner. You can see those in the background right now if you're watching it on YouTube. An 8-figure award winner. His digital agency went from 0 to over 500K in funnel sales in 18 months, and his funnels have generated $16.4 million in just 18 months. $16.4 million in 18 months. Yeah. Pretty impressive.
Pretty crazy.
And I want to talk about all that. But before we do, let's take a big step back. So growing up, were you a rebel? Were you an A+ student? Tell us what that was like. And did you know you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, back in the day when I'm a little bit older, it wasn't like called entrepreneur then, you're just like a hustling. Like I, as a kid, was selling I don't know if you ever heard of Cutco knives or anything like that. I've always been trying to figure out my own path. So yeah, and I did terrible in school. I found out that I barely graduated, then found out when I went to go to college that for some reason the paperwork didn't go through. So I actually don't even have a high school diploma.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you go to college or no?
I took some college classes, but I quickly learned that was not my thing, especially once I started making any money online. Every minute I was sitting in class, I'm like, I could be online, growing. So.
Right. And I forgot to tell people you're called the funnel doctor. What were you doing before you were the funnel doctor? Did you have a bunch of real jobs?
Well, I actually, what's crazy is I was in fitness for about 18 years, man. I was running gyms. I was a personal trainer. I was on the fitness side. I was learning sales. And the guy that I was learning sales and systems on the fitness side was how I was introduced to .com secrets.
Got it. And talk to me about .com secrets. How did that impact your life, and what was it like going through that process?
So yeah, I was on the fitness side. I'm learning sales. I'm trying to learn the master of how to close people, because that's what you do in sales. And people come in and try to sell membership, personal training, whatever it is. And this guy, Bedros, who it was a mentor of mine, just one day holds up this book from some random dude, Russell Brunson, whoever that is. And Bedros, this guy's name is Bedros Keuilian. And it was like, if Bedros said do it, then I read it. So he said read it. And it was amazing because I'd done websites and stuff before, and I'd been doing all this, but it wasn't until I read .com secrets that it sort of all made sense. The upsells, all the systems, everything putting together in that one harmonious unit. And it was literally like the clouds parted, and I saw Russell's vision. It was literally like I read that, and then shortly thereafter, expert secrets started coming up, and I'm like, this is the future. Funnels are going to take over for websites. Websites will eventually come a spot where people come to learn info, but funnels are where the sales and acquiring new customers is what's going to happen. And that's what led to me getting my first, in case anybody's watching, that's my funnel hacker tattoo. It was actually, oh my goodness, it was 2 years ago to the day. So we're recording this, sorry, but it's April 4th. But if it's 2 years ago this day that I got this tattoo as a promise to myself that I would do something in ClickFunnels, and that started the whole journey.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Russell Brunson is the CEO, the owner of ClickFunnels. I don't know if he's a CEO, but he's the co-founder of ClickFunnels. .com Secrets is a very popular book. We'll have a link in the show notes. Talk to us about maybe the biggest takeaways that really resonated with you from that book.
I think a lot of it was just not only the customer journey, but the upsells, the downsales, building the attractive character. That was a real big part of it as far as leading the charge and everything like that. I think just everything. I mean, it was like the perfect webinar, trial closes, like everything in the book literally to me was just like, this guy's a genius, Like I'd seen it or heard it somewhere before, but never had it been all brought together in one place.
Yeah, it makes sense. So there's a lot of people that read that book. There's not a lot of people that run an 8-figure business. Well, what do you contribute to your success? And can you kind of walk us through that initial year? I mean, you said this is year 2. How did that first year go down?
So it was pretty amazing because for those who don't know my story, leading up to when I learned about .com secrets, my wife was supporting us at that time. And out of nowhere, she loses her job. So we literally go from paycheck to paycheck to like no check to no check. And it got really bad. We had to pawn my wife's ring at one point just to be able to pay rent, you know, and just like it was really bad. So I'm learning all this, and I meet this guy in the ClickFunnels group. I'd just been awarded the second highest contributor out of 78,000 people in the group, and some random guy posts in the group. And this is how I'd been learning ClickFunnels and everything, is I just went all in on the group. I was in there from morning, night, and everything that Russell put out, every penny we could scrape together, I bought his stuff just so I could learn everything I could about funnels. And then this guy puts out a post, his name was Kevin David, and he's like, hey, I need help with funnels. And I'm like, well, I'll help you. And during this time too, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Ryan Dice and Digital Marketer and all his stuff, but all his
traffic and conversion.
Oh, great. Yeah. So, but all his stuff, actually, if you look at the top there for people on YouTube, those are all the certifications that Digital Marketer has. I went through all their certification courses, got all their stuff so that I'd have all these credentials. So he was like, well, let's work together. So we built out, I went in, now Kevin had already had like a pretty good YouTube following. He had one video that had like 200,000 views on it, but he had not any way to monetize this at all. So I come in and I built out his funnels, his bots, his emails, his whole entire ecosystem. We launched it. That was May 17th. And then 57 days later, we'd done $1.2 million in sales. And at that time, it was the fastest anyone had hit $1 million using ClickFunnels.
Wow, that's incredible. You're obviously a big fan of investing in yourself. I mean, going through, you said you bought everything that Russell did. You bought everything on traffic and conversion. I'm sure you bought other stuff than that. Talk to the viewers of how important that is, or the listeners, and how important that is to find people that you can look up to, that you can learn from, and to really invest in yourself.
You know, I think it is. I think there's two parts that people need to realize too, because it's super important to invest in yourself. With education, like this was my college, you know what I mean, to some degree. All this was like my investment in college is investing myself, investing in my future. And you do need to study, but there also needs to become a point where you realize that you need to stop studying and start implementing, you know, because I see so many people get in that studying loop or that learning loop, and they're just, I'm going to get another course, I'm going to get another something, I'm going to get another something. And they never implement it, and because of that, they get stuck.
So how do you balance that out? I mean, I'm assuming even now you're learning new things. How do you break down your time between execution and learning more?
Well, in the beginning, when I was so new, it was literally I fell asleep a couple times on my keyboard listening to Russell Brunson. I mean, no joke. Literally, like I've seen every video of that guy. He used to have when he first started out, he had a show called Marketing Quickies, where he was like 18 years old. It was crazy, but I've seen everything from that guy. When you start to see moderate success, now I'm not talking hundreds of thousands or even millions, but when you go from zero or very little to 10K, 15K a month, you know, at that point, if your systems are already in place, 20,000, you need to start thinking that you don't stop learning, but just stop shutting off as much as you were taking in. You know what I mean? It needs to be very focused learning. Like there's a new something that you need to stay away from shiny objects, but there might be a new technique or something that's come out that is the way to do things. Then it's a time to learn, or just picking learning along the way and not just everything you can get your hands on like before.
And you're a big proponent of giving back to the community. I mean, I see you posting on Facebook. I see you in the ClickFunnels group. We just did a virtual summit together by the time this goes live, and you're giving out a lot of that content for free. Talk about how important that is to continue to give back to the community around you.
You know, that's the great thing about this, man. It's like Akbar Sheikh. I don't know if you know him or not. He says, give.
Coming on the podcast.
What's that?
He's coming on the podcast.
Awesome. So prelude, Akbar's awesome. See that episode. But his whole thing is, you know, give more, get more. Because it's so true. I found that the more I give to people, the more comes back. So I just give as much as I can, because it not only that, but it's very fulfilling. It's very fulfilling that when you get done with someone, like I was doing a funnel review the other day, and it was just like, you could see it, light bulb after light bulb after light bulb was going off in someone's head. And you know when they get done, if they implement what you're showing them, that it's going to make a major impact in their life. So that's one reason I've sort of transferred into coaching and not as much done for you. I do done for you still, like actually doing the funnels, but it's on a very limited basis now, and it has to be someone that's going to be like a 2-comma or already, you know what I mean? It just, they need some help, like that type of stuff, versus before I would take anybody and everybody that wanted a funnel and that type of thing.
So you do a lot of coaching. You probably come across people who their funnel's broken, or it's not working, or they're not getting the results they want. How do you begin to dissect that, and where do you see people making the most mistakes?
The first thing actually is usually even before outside the funnel is that you a lot of times don't know their customer avatar as well. It's like, or it's very general, you know, it's from 25 to 65, men and women, you know, they're trying to hit everybody. And the problem with that is, in theory, it makes so much sense. It's like, dude, people have a cold, so everybody's my client. Or, you know, if I'm selling some type of water, everybody drinks water, so everybody's my. That's not true. You have to have a special focus niche, because the more you niche down, the more you're able to get to their pain points, what's driving them, what really is the problem you're solving with this that you're selling. And it's not hitting everyone. It's niching down and get very specific. And that's one of the major things. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
And I was just saying, how do you figure out what that niche is? What if someone is just not sure?
That's a great question. So I would say it's one of two things. You need to either have a passion or solve a problem. Solving a problem is the best of two. But a lot of times if you need to have something you have a passion in, some type of at least minimal knowledge, you know what I mean, somewhat like above the basis of it. It's really, really hard. Like for some people, it comes really quick, and for others, it doesn't. It could be e-com. It's like there's just the problem. Here's the problem. With today's age, there's so much opportunity. I mean, it's literally opportunity overload for so many people. If you have any type of ability online, what do I want to do? Drop shipping? Do I want to do e-com? Do I want to be a podcaster? Do I want to do YouTube? You know, I mean, there's so many options. And what's really crazy is you've seen it, I've seen it, the amount of success people have so quick now because of the internet, no matter what they're doing. So it's hard to decide. But, you know, as far as funnels, I always say make sure you know your avatar, know your people, because if you can't relate to them, know their pain points, know what problem you're solving, you're never going to be able to convert. You know. Yeah,
it makes a ton of sense. So this is the Outsourcing and Scaling show. We always like to talk about how people hire, how people build their teams. In the background, I see someone, I don't know who that is, but talk to us about how you've hired, how you've built your team, and how you've made your business bigger and more scalable.
VAs have been, you know, a great way to help out in that type of thing. It's been a lot of trial and error. I've probably, to be honest with you, hiring, especially with Facebook ads people and stuff like that, went through about $50,000 trying to find teams and stuff. Yeah, for me, it's been a little bit difficult just because people nowadays will tell you on their resumes, it seems like, that they hung the moon, and it doesn't matter until they're in front of you actually performing, it seems like a lot of times.
We'll talk about Free Up later and how we can help you solve that. But how big is your team now? Is it mostly you? I know you've gone into that more coaching route. Do you have people around you, or is it mostly you doing most of the work?
It's me, my wife, and we have like a couple other VAs and stuff, small level stuff like that. But pretty much I do now everything myself because it's just coaching my course. So any customer service type stuff like that, you know, that basic type stuff, so that we're not doing that type of stuff.
So I feel like digital marketing kind of goes in cycles. It's always what's next, Facebook ads, chatbots, and there's always something new, and then something becomes more outdated. People don't use it. Where do you see funnels going, and what do you think is next for funnels?
It will be interesting because augmented reality is becoming a big thing here in the future. You know, Facebook's pushing it, Google's pushing it in their browsers, different things like that. Soon enough, like I have a client of mine that was very heavy in augmented reality, and she was showing me all the stuff that's coming up in the future. And I don't know that funnels will be here, but depending, or if they shift, it could move into like an augmented reality funnel or something like that, because the sales process in the next 3 to 5 years is going to shift dramatically from what we're seeing now to the virtual world.
It's definitely going to be interesting. I can tell you that much. Let's talk a little bit more about funnels. Like what makes a really good funnel opposed to, let's say, a so-so funnel?
Yeah, some of the main things that I find that people make mistakes on right off the bat is they get too features driven, like, oh, it's got this many chapters and this many videos and it's shiny, it's this and that and that and that. And people don't care about that. Like, people don't care. Like, that's cool, but no one's going to be like, oh, it's got 12 modules. I'm in. Give me 3 of them. I'll give one to this guy over here too, you know. It needs to be more pain point. Like, what problems are you solving? Like, just the whole thing where it's like, highlight a pain point, agitate a pain point, show how you're the solution. Just the basic outline like that very rarely is followed. You'd be surprised how many funnels I see where they're just outlining everything about it. It's so this and that. And what people don't realize is you use those features to highlight the benefits. So, oh, we're going to solve this problem because we have feature X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So it just relays that whole building back upon what you're trying to solve.
So I kind of look at it as 3 parts. So you got the funnel, but you've got the actual content, whatever you're going to sell. And then you almost have like that social media following behind it. If you get someone with a huge following, it becomes a lot easier to push people through the funnel to hopefully have good content. How important is the stuff around it? And can you build a great successful funnel with so-and-so stuff on the front and back?
So I think that's one of the things. That's a great question. So a funnel it's like, even though it's a big part, it's a small part of the whole ecosystem. Like, it's important to get it. First of all, to answer your question, a bad funnel with a good product or offer can work, but a great funnel with a bad product or offer can't work.
Got it.
To answer your question. But what people don't realize so often is it's so much beyond just that. So like, the funnel is just a small little portion getting them in. Realize on a normal cold traffic meaning that they don't know you or anything, they only know they have a problem. I need to leave my job, I'm overweight, I'm sick, whatever, just generalize. So it's cold traffic, comes in the funnel. Cold traffic to funnel, you're crushing it at 5 to 8%. Like, you are crushing it. Like, if you hit 10, you are a madman. So realize that percentage, 90 people out of every 100 people go away. You'll never see them again. So that's why follow-up is so important beyond just the funnel. Sure, you got them there, but now you need the email, the bot, the engagement, the content, building the know, like, and trust, so that when they are finally ready to buy, your product's all they can think about.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And it's fascinating that you said that, like, bad content but a great funnel doesn't do anything, because I think there's a whole thing in the industry that there's some gurus out there that their content isn't great but the funnels work anyway. And I kind of agree with you. I mean, if the content wasn't there, eventually it's going to catch up with them. At least I would hope so. I want to pick your brain on upsells, because I always find it how fascinating it is. It's almost like human psychology, where the smallest change of word, the smallest like mindset shift could be the difference between a huge upsell or not getting it across different people. What's your strategy when it comes to upsells?
The first thing is you have to, when you're coming to upsell, the first thing mistake everyone makes is they don't acknowledge the purchase that just happened. So like, I bought A, and here you're going to like your first OTO or one-time offer, you know, they don't say, hey, congratulations for getting this, or hey, this is on your way to mail. So people sometimes right off the bat for an upsell, they're like, what happened? Why am I on this page? So you need to acknowledge that. The second thing is you have to grab their attention. Now that you've acknowledged their purchase, you got to grab their attention. It has to be a captivating headline that explains to them, like, look, this is the only time you're going to be able to see this offer. Like, you have to pay attention, because if you don't grab they'll just click out and move on, and then everything below it doesn't even matter. Then on that, you want to always have a captivating video. It has to be, again, I can't say this enough, problem solving. This is the thing, like people do, I say it all the time, but people still don't do it. If people can't see on the video that they're, because usually the OTOs usually have a video that plays on it. If they can't like see themselves in that situation and see how your product or what you're offering them is the obvious solution, well, that's problem number one right there. I mean, and that's what's left out so often on your upsells or anything like that. And then other times, upsells too, people won't be congruent. Like, here's the thing, like, okay, realize if my main product is how to get a six-pack, and I bought that product, the upsell can't be anything related to actually getting a six-pack, because in my mind, that first product checked that box off already. I got a six-pack. It's on the way. It's in the mail. It's going to be here soon.
Right.
Boom. So to offer me something else that's like, here's my super Excel level workouts. No. That won't work because I've already got a six-pack. Now, maybe you might be able to say, here's my meal plan, because now I've got the workouts. Now I need to know how to eat better. And
right.
That would be a perfect. See, they're still in alignment, but they don't fight each other. And that's what makes a perfect upsell, is something that's the next step up or the next level of ascension. So if I've got this problem solved, well, what's the next problem I have because I've got this problem solved? If I'm looking for abs and I got the workout, well, now I need to know eating or maybe cardio. That type of thing might be the next level up.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. This has been fascinating talking about funnels, and I've got some rapid fire questions afterwards, but is there anything else about funnels that we didn't touch on that I didn't ask that you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, don't be afraid to launch, man. Too many people wait. They don't realize that really the funnel for the one funnel way is usually like your fifth or sixth funnel in that iteration. Very rarely, like Kevin and me launching it out of the park with version 1 was definitely lightning in a bottle. It's not the norm. So realize you need to launch your funnels, launch your projects, get them out there, test and tweak as you go along. That doesn't mean put crap out there, want it to be good, but don't wait for perfection, because if you do, it will never come and you will never reach, your success. Because that's the one thing I've noticed with higher level influencers. I'm sure you can attest to this, is that imperfect action, that's implementation. It's just doing it. Even if it's wrong, they're doing it and they're fixing it along the way, rather than, okay, I'm going to be the master, I'm going to know everything about funnels or hiring people or whatever it is, and instead just do it, man. Like Nike, just do it.
I completely agree. Getting that minimum viable product is out there, and people understand. People understand if you're a startup and you need to make changes and you need to improve it along the way. As long as you have the right values and the customer service behind it, it all kind of works itself out. You ready for some more rapid fire questions, and then we'll wrap this up?
All right, let's do it.
Cool. What's an unusual habit you have that people might not know about, but maybe that leads to productivity?
An unusual habit that I have that people, I'm boring, man. I don't really have, I wish I could tell you something. Tori, do I have any unusual habits? What's an unusual habit? So you're asking for my help. I'm sorry, man. I might have to pat. I'll think about it. Give me another one. I'll have to think about it. Unusual habit.
Well, what book besides .com Secrets, besides Russell's stuff, has really made an impact on you? Persuasion was really good. Play Bigger was really good as well. Those have been some good books. Let's see, what else is another one? That's pretty much, those are some good, powerful books that I've read recently that were influential on me. Awesome. So you technically don't have a high school degree. Do you recommend that people go to college now? If you're talking to a room full of students, what do you tell them?
That's a great question. So now with the way college is set up, I think as a whole, it sets most people up for failure. To go into life with debt already on the books. Now, there are some trades, like, dude, if you want to be a doctor, you have to go to college, okay? Like, I mean, if you can't take courses and learn heart surgery. So there's certain skills and trades and stuff like that. Of course, college is a definite necessity, but there's so many other people, like, I talk to people all the time, and I'm sure you do too, that, like, they're not doing what they went to college for. If they,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like, even if they did, that was like a gateway to get there. It wasn't their end means. So I think that if you know for sure that you have a definitive trade that you want to go into and it requires the levels of education, sure. But I think now with the way the internet is, that college is not a necessity anymore.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think if/when I have kids, it'll be very tough to push college on them in the same way that my parents did back in the day. And my next question, and it's funny, people, I don't know if they make fun of me, but they always say that I respond fast on every social media platform. And I have to say, you are right there with me. You have fast responses. How is your work-life balance, and how has that evolved over the years? Do you say that you have one?
Yes, we're Tori helped out there. I've been blessed because my wife has, when we first got in this, she originally wanted to be side by side with me, just right there in it, and then quickly realized that all the skills and stuff that I learned that she hadn't yet. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never get one time we were talking, she's all stressed out, and she's like, I haven't gotten any potential clients. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? I never asked you to get but because she's so, like, assertive and wanting to help put in, that she was putting all this extra pressure on herself. So it was really nice. She was able to learn to step back from, and also, like I said, she was supporting me for like a while, man, like while I was learning all this. So for her to have to step back and now just chill was really hard. So it was nice that she was able to step back and then find a better role where, like, now she helps, for instance, with like our virtual summit, keeping in contact with the speakers, things like that. She helps with the Facebook groups, things like that. And it's been great, man. Now, because of that, I think we have a real good work-life balance that we're able to sort of cut off stuff and keep it. It's easier that way too, not having 15 clients. When I was running my agency, I had 15 clients. We got up to 18 clients at one point. And now I had a staff of 8 people working for me at that point, Facebook ads, all that type of stuff. But I felt like I had like 15 bosses, man. Yeah. Because, it's literally there. Didn't matter what day it was. You're an entrepreneur, so Sunday doesn't matter, which I'm cool with that. But when your clients are telling you have to work on Sunday, you're like, really? That's the whole point of being an entrepreneur too, is to have some of that freedom. But right. No, I've been blessed. My wife, there are some trials and tribulations, ups and downs. We now have a really good work-life balance.
That's awesome. Jeff, this has been great. Where can people find out more about you, and what are you excited about right now?
So you can go to funneldoc.com to find out anything about me. That's my funnel hub there is what we call it, where all my funnels come off of that. And then right now I'm doing Funnel Agency Secrets, which is my course. It's where I actually teach people to basically do everything that I did to grow my agency from 0 to $500,000 in 8 months using funnels, emails, and bots. So teaches you how to go get your clients, how to close your clients, how to build out everything for them. And I want everyone that's part of it to be part of my 10K dream team, where I believe that even though 2 commas are nice, the average person, if I can get you to where you're making $10,000 a month in residual income, that will change your life. So that's why I call it my dream team. So I'm trying to get everyone on there, man.
I love it. Jeff, thanks again for coming on, and I'll see you soon for the virtual summit.
Yeah, awesome, brother. Thanks for your time. It's a pleasure.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. Did you enjoy this content? If so, click like, leave us a comment, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue bringing you great content all about hiring.